Okay, awkward conversation. Weed and adult content. Why are they a dangerous combination? Okay, and I'm specifically talking to men, not saying women can't fall into this category too, but us men and our perverted minds. We are more prone to fall into adult content. We are more prone to be addicted to weed. And this has become a combination that's very prevalent in today's youth, today's generation. Okay, we are more alone than ever. We don't have friends. We have our social circle in these online communities. We're playing video games. We're watching adult content. We're smoking a lot of weed alone. Now, whereas weed used to be this social stimulant, it's become a stimulant for us to propel us into loneliness, into being alone, being content with ourselves. So we're getting high, we're smoking weed, and many of us, not all, many of us are falling into the trap of getting high and watching adult content. Now, towards the end of my journey with weed addiction, I would notice when I was getting high, I would have heightened sexual thoughts. Now, there are many people that, men are different. There are some men I've heard, if they smoke too much weed, they can't get it up. They can't actually perform. Whereas some people, they smoke weed, they get extremely horny. So it differs from man to man. Now, for me personally, when I smoke weed, it was almost like an aphrodisiac. I would notice my mind would go into long trances of thinking about sex that was started from some simple that I saw on TV or on my phone or just out in the world. And this would propel me to a watch adult content. Now, I did stop adult content years before I actually stopped smoking weed, but still, we can't undo what has been undone sometimes. We can't undo what has been done. I sound like Kamala Harris. We cannot burden what has been unburdened. We can't undo what our eyes are seeing. So even when I wasn't watching adult content, I would notice when I was getting high, I would think a lot about sexual situations. And I could imagine if you are going through weed addiction and you're still watching adult content, how they sort of go hand in hand. Again, we don't have friends, we don't have girlfriends. I'm not saying every Gen Z doesn't have a girlfriend. No, some people are dating, but there are many that have fallen into this trap where they don't have in-person friendships. They're not seeking relationships, and they're being content with just getting high and jacking off. Let's just be honest. And when we have this combination of them both, it sort of is our safety blanket. We get so used to doing certain things, and men especially, we are creatures of habit. We can do things day in and day out, day after day, year after year, and be content with that. Me and my wife was talking about how men are, like I said, much more prone. We can do the same thing for forever. Women like change. Women like spontaneity. They get bored easily. We don't get bored. We get content with doing the same thing. And when we fall into the cycle of weed addiction, where we have anxiety, we're not sleeping, we're having social issues, and we're getting high, we're becoming content with ourselves, and then we go and we're watching adult content, we are scratching our itch of a relationship. We are soothing that desire for wanting a girlfriend, for wanting a wife, for wanting just interaction with the other sex. And when we combine these two things, we just can easily fall into a trap of depending on weed, of depending on corn to ease anxieties in both areas of life. And I fear this for Gen Z because I do have a son that's in Gen Z. And I do fear that, what if they don't seek relationships because they're so used to corn and used to weed? Now, I know he doesn't smoke weed, but I mean, I don't know what he does in his free time. And I do know they don't go out on dates like how we did when I was younger. So I just worry and get scared that they aren't going to pursue relationships because they are getting high and they're on their phones, they're on their computers. and they're just not seeking outside relationships. So I'll warn you, if you have an issue with weed addiction and we're using weed to cope with the stresses of our everyday life, and then we desire a girlfriend, we desire a relationship, and we turn to adult content to fill that void. If we do that enough, we will fall into the cycle of not actually changing our surroundings, not changing our situation, not actually seeking relationships. And then before we know it, we are 35, we're 40, we're lonely, we don't have a wife, don't have a girlfriend, we're just stuck in our rooms online, and we're just a sad sack of shit. So be aware if you are smoking weed a lot and watching porn a lot, because it may lead you down the rabbit hole of loneliness. So maybe you guys are different. Maybe you can smoke your weed all day, every day, watch your porn, and go out and have friends and have a girlfriend, have a wife. I think for most, they don't, but maybe you're different. I don't know. So until next time, guys, please like, subscribe, share. Most importantly, remember, we are all in this together. Peace.